Hello and welcome to Ideas with Impact podcast. Before we start, I would like to appreciate if you hit the like, subscribe button, as it really helps to grow my channel. And today I am so excited to welcome Shantdeep to the show, where her sensitivity allows her to create a safe space for clients as she explores the impacts of trauma on mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical well-being. So welcome, Shantdeep. How are you?
Hello, Aleksandra. It's a great pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me as a guest. And I really look forward to the ideas we're going to share today.
Thank you. Yes, it's such a pleasure to have you here. Would you like to share with the audience a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I'm presently living in the country, and I've chosen this location to further deepen into my work. I work with sound, and I work with shamanic energy as well. And I work with sound, I chant, I play guitar, I've taught yoga, and I also have an aromatherapy business. So I do a lot of different things.
What brought you to the place where you are right now in terms of working with sound and vibration and shamanic practices? How did you get there? What path did you take to get to that point?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And I find that there is a mystery.
There always is.
What exactly has brought me here? Some of it was self-directed, and I'd say a lot of it wasn't. I think it was spirit-led. If I look at my upbringing, my childhood, and those formative years, I lived in a very nurturing, happy home. However, we did have some trauma. There was a lot of yelling in the home. So I think that I've wanted to create an environment which is conducive to not experiencing trauma, where tranquility and peace and different healing modalities are able to support the mind, body, and soul at that level. I chose teaching as a career, and I had some very good years in that career. However, there was part of me that maybe wished I'd chosen social work. But teaching came easily because I'm French as my first language, grew up in Toronto and grew up in a French household. And so teaching French came very easily for me. And it was very good. I worked with children in French immersion. And then I started studying yoga. And something significant happened the year that I divorced. It was only 2 months after I had moved out that I met a sound healer, and we had a relationship for over 2 years. And you know how there's significant forks on our journey that shape and transform us. I think that was a very significant one. And I had been playing the guitar and writing songs and singing since my early 20s, and there were some significant people who opened that up for me as well. And I was also very much exposed to music as a child, so I think I had that beautiful gift of that love of song and melody imprinted in me from my upbringing, from my father, who was a very beautiful musician, singer, and poet. And so, in 2007, I came into the world of sound healing. And I think that at that point, I think my soul had been very much drawn to sound. I had a love of shakuhachi music, which I discovered in my experience of living in Japan for many years. And I was also interested in Asian, Thai classical music, Indian music, which, as we know, is so very rich and ancient and mystical and healing, which we might talk about a little bit more in our sharing here, and mantras. And so at that, I think I was 40 when this happened, 42. There was this like explosion of curiosity that occurred within me where I became physically present with the practice of sound healing. I discovered crystal bowls, I discovered the voice, and I discovered how to work with sound. And this became a process that extends to now, and which is still ongoing. I got into, in my yoga studies, I studied Kundalini yoga intentionally. I chose that lineage because they have a very strong practice of mantra chanting. Of course, there are other schools of traditional yoga which incorporate chanting. However, at the time, in the more mainstream yoga schools, that was not so evident for me and not so obvious. And so I chose that practice, which is based on more the Sikh tradition. So Sikh mantras, but all mantras, whatever faith tradition that they come from, chants and mantras are sound
Mantras,
healing.
sorry for
Yeah.
interrupting, but mantras are almost like vibration.
Absolutely. They're vibrational codes. Yes.
Right. So
Yeah.
can you define the concept of vibration in the context of sound healing, and what role does it play?
Yes. The premise is that everything is frequency in this world. And sound is all around us, vibration is all around us, and it's within us. In my voice and in my hearing, and sound and vibration is also felt through the skin, and it goes into the body. It's in the fluids of our being, in the water, which takes on different geometric forms. Water takes on different geometric forms when exposed to certain sounds. So cymatics, I'm not sure if you're aware of cymatics, but it's where we put sand on a vibrational plate.
Yes.
And when the sound current is played, it creates a mandala of shapes and forms. You know, this is a mandala behind here.
Yeah.
And so we enter into this world of sacred geometry, and which the sacred geometry we see in plant life, right? In leaf formations, in shells, in flowers. Sound is also light. And so we're in a sound bath and in a light bath. This is the world that we exist within. I don't know if that answers the question. And so working with sound frequency then is like, well, wow, there are so many different sound frequencies that we can access. MRIs, ultrasounds are some forms that are used in medicine. And now we really are at the forefront of amazing discoveries being made with sound. Although I do believe, and that's just not my belief, but that sound was also used in previous highly advanced cultures. Yeah.
So
But I
it's
was,
funny you said that because I was listening to a podcast yesterday, actually. Not sure if you ever heard of Robert Edward um, Grant. He he works. He's like a mathematician, and he discovered that the pyramids in Egypt, the way that they're constructed, and he goes very deeply into explaining mathematically and like different language than I'm aware of. But
yeah.
he says that the size of all the three pyramids are almost like the vibration or the musical notes. So we still don't know. I think they're trying to figure this out scientifically of what was the relative of, first of all, A, the pyramids, and B, of were they really vibrational things that were
Mm-hmm.
created
Mm-hmm.
by us, but we're talking about 200,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
quite interesting to hear
Isn't,
this vibrational, it's almost like a vibrational medicine
yes.
for humanity.
Isn't that fascinating?
Hmm.
And I've heard such amazing experiences of people who've gone into the pyramid and have chanted and made sounds, and that it is beyond description and powerful. Yeah.
That's a one place that I would love to go and visit for
Yeah,
sure.
me too.
Just to be there and experience the I'm just getting goosebumps talking about
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
There's something very, very, very unique and powerful of the pyramids for sure.
Yes. What's interesting when we start to play with sound is in my previous home, which was a century home, a big 3-story century home, there was a small staircase going up to the third floor attic.
Mm-hmm.
And there were various, and that was a chamber which had such amazing sound frequency and vibration. And so I remember sitting with friends. A friend of mine had her didgeridoo. I was singing. Somebody had a bowl. Maybe it was me. Maybe I was doing both. And so we can create these echo chambers, or even singing in the bathroom, in the bathtub. I know I do a lot of sounding when I'm in the bath. It's really powerful what can happen when we find ourselves in a container where there's just a really beautiful echoing vibration. Or in the mountains, yes?
Mm-hmm.
When we're in the mountains and we make a beautiful sound, or we yell hello, and then
Repeats itself,
it
yes.
repeats, like,
Yeah.
it's just amazing. Yeah.
How does the human body responds to these different sound frequencies? Like what happens when we are exposed to these beautiful frequencies? Yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
Especially, particularly in the benefits of healing. Because I think we're
Yes.
all on the path of healing somehow.
Yes. And this is where we're saying that sound is the medicine of the now future. Yes. There are incredible studies coming out around the world which are able to show us that the effects of sound on the body and on disease, and at the experiential level on the emotions.
Mm.
Now, in my work, I don't have any measurements for that, so I can support what I experience, what I see from my clients' experience, and the benefits and the outcomes are based on the science that I'm reading about. I can hardly keep up with it.
There's more and more evidence
There's
coming out.
more. Now, for example, I have a book here. It's by, I'm just tilting my head, by Mitchell Gaynor. Maybe I'll just show it to the
Yeah,
audience.
for sure. Please. Absolutely.
These are significantly impactful authors. So maybe it's backwards. I hope not, but
No, it's good.
good. The Healing Power of Sound, Recovery from Life-Threatening Illness Using Sound, Voice, and Music. And so the impact of sound has the ability to change the structure of the blood, for example. There's been some experiments where there's live blood testing being done at the time that somebody is receiving the vibrational frequency of the gong. And the red blood cells were much more, they were less clumped together at the end of the 20 minutes, in contrast to being clumped together at the beginning. Okay. We know that water has a memory. So Masaru Emoto and Veda, I forget her name. Her first name is Veda. She's very popular now on Instagram and other social platforms. And she's showing us how music and our thoughts and intentions have an imprint on the water. It has a memory. And so we are made of 70% water in our bodies, more so when we're young babies, up to 85%. And as we age, that ratio goes down. But let's use 70% for an adult, common adult. So that's why I often recommend before a sound bath, make sure you're hydrated, have a good glass of water. And so the frequency is also having this effect on the fluids in our body. It's having an effect on the brain waves. I can use binaural beats frequencies with my crystal bowls. It means that it's not like a perfect tuning of each bowl. They're off, and that middle frequency creates another frequency. And so that's become very popular. Binaural frequencies. There's lots of music you can listen to on headphones. It's become very popular. And that will reset the hemispheres of the brain. We know that music is very harmonious for the right brain, which is intuitive, artistic. We also know that we can create stimulation for the vagus nerve. So when I use my tuning forks, I have different ones that I use on the body. These are weighted tuning forks, so these go directly on the body. And so this frequency here, the perfect fifth, I've got a G and a C. When that is placed on the body, it releases nitric oxide in the body. Nitric oxide, when released in the body, creates that feeling of wellness, and it heals the cells. And so that is very scientifically proven and concrete. Yeah. The other tuning forks that I have, I'm just going to reach and grab them, are these kinds. And Eileen McCusiak uses these very much, and so does John Beaulieu. And I have his book here, Human Tuning. And so there's more evidence of how the tuning forks clear the energetic field that is all around us. And there's different layers to this energetic field.
So would you use those forks for someone who is stagnant, for example? Like, how would we know? Is it because they feel tired? They feel depressed? There's something going on within the body?
Yes. So when we're feeling, perhaps even, I think we all have experiences when we're feeling down, anxious, depressed. I think most people feel like a density within them in the mind, and also like a weight in the body. Yeah. Where it's hard to get up. There isn't a lot of vital energy. And so because we have different layers of energy around us and within us, when the frequency penetrates into this field of energy, and when it is applied to the body, it's shifting the energy field. So it's like nourishment. It's like drinking a glass of green juice, which brings this vitality to the body.
Or like being on the beach near
On the
the
beach.
ocean. The
Yeah, and there
sound
we're
of
getting
the
the
ocean
ions.
is
Yes, we're getting the sound of the water. We're getting the ions from the elements, and also the Schumann frequency from the earth, the sand, which is why nature is it's that field of high frequency healing. So that's why we recommend spending time in nature, taking your shoes off and earthing to absorb that frequency of the earth. And the sound of the trees, the sound of the wind, the silence too, how peaceful winter is, in our northern hemisphere. And then the bird songs, how the bird songs also...
So many different sounds.
Yeah. The bird songs release endorphins and they make us feel good. We're all connected in this environment, or a waterfall. And so I guess we're always in a sound bath. And then this is where it's important to be mindful of what sounds you are bathing in and what you can do to immerse yourself in sounds that are healing. And so participating in chanting. For example, kirtan is something that I've practiced for many years, where we're reciting mantras. The Buddhists practice this. It's a very popular tradition in many different faiths. In Christian, agape, meditation, and then in Hebrew tradition, there's mantras that have been recited for eons, and so the repetition of this code, of this energy, is also shifting the energy within. It clears, it heals. If you sit for an hour chanting a mantra, you will feel the shift within your consciousness and in your body. Because also in using the voice, which is our innate instrument, and there's 84 meridian points on the palate that the tongue presses when we're chanting. So the repetition of this is releasing, again, it's hitting the pineal gland, and it's releasing all these hormones in the body, which we feel. And it's just so fascinating.
It is. Like for me, when I sit and I just do simple Om, and I chant that, and I just release it, my whole body starts to kind of like go in this kind of waving patterns of vibration, which is really cool. I love it.
Yes.
It gives me like literally, I think what it does to me, it like resets my nervous system.
Exactly. And so when we chant and sing, it stimulates the vagus nerve, the largest nerve in our body, which calms the parasympathetic system. And so in chanting Om, which is so beautiful, keep doing that. We can also start to work with the breath and learning how to use the breath when we're chanting so that we're deepening the effects on the body. So breathing from the belly, exhaling in a long way. You can focus on the third eye, closing your eyes and having a certain posture. You can sit on a chair or cross-legged. But all of these techniques, which are also part of the yoga practices, have the beneficial effect of enhancing the experience of sound, working with sound. We can also, yes, go ahead.
What would be the interplay between the sound healing, for example, and the emotional release?
Yeah. And so In my work, I see clients who have emotional releases that are of held energy, and when the tears arise, or when the joy arises at the end of the session, yeah, there's a transformation that's taking place.
Is this something because we are holding on to our emotions and we don't release that, or this is completely something else?
Yes, well, I think that the field of somatic healing, the somatic science, I've been studying that as well, and Peter Levine does talk about some practices where to release an anxious response, we can use the VU sound, where you can place your hand on your heart, hand on the belly, and you take an inhale, and you say, you tone VU. VU. And that's a way to release anxiety. So I have taught my son to do that in situations, and clients in situations where they feel a lot of anxiety and they feel the shift. You repeat this for 3 minutes and you'll feel the shift within. So there is a release of anxiety.
Breathing into our belly, because what I find, not only with my kids, but what I've been doing is observing a lot of people. And when they breathe short right into their lungs. And then that's
Yes.
it. So
Yes.
if
Yes.
you can share some breathing techniques with us, or talk about a little bit more about breathing, that would be wonderful.
Yes. So the practice of pranayama from the yogic tradition, one that I love, which is very simple. It is inhaling through the nose. You can do a count of 4 or 5. It depends what your capacity is. It's not so much that the count is to help us have a range, a guide. So let's say we inhale the count of 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 8. Through the nose. And then to pause before the next inhale comes. So as I start breathing in my inhale, I'm receiving life. I pause, I hold the breath. This life force is moving through me. And then I exhale through the nose. I draw the stomach in towards the spine. There's a full release. I am empty and ready to receive life again with the next inhale. And we can combine that with a mantra like Soham, just a mental recitation. You don't have to say it out loud. Soham means, I am divine, I'm connected with all of this creation. Can be the mantra Om, like you practice, and integrating that deeper breathing. Your consciousness starts to shift. The hemispheres of the brain start to find a coherence. And this is also what we're looking for when we're working with different instruments. This Tibetan bowl. I also work with gongs and crystal bowls. So we're seeking to have coherence in our being at the physical level, at the emotional level, the mental level, where there's spaciousness, the thoughts start to slow down. There's a spaciousness, and this is what happens in a sound bath with all of my clients. We go into that space where we lose track of time and we're transported into an experience where the frequency is is moving through us and around us, hearing different vibrations, some low, deep, earthy vibrations, and some higher sounds, which are more ethereal. And that whole journey is so beautiful. And I think, Aleksandra, that's pretty much what you experience. And if you want to share a little bit.
I actually was about to say that when I had come and saw you before our interview, because I wanted to experience it myself, and I felt like a new person. All I will say is when I came out and when you were using the forks and you were using the crystal, again, my whole body was just like literally having out of body experience for me. That's how it worked for me. And I
Yeah.
almost fell asleep at
Yes.
the end because I was so relaxed. I had no worries. I had nowhere to be except being with you at that moment. And I think it was really, really, for me, it was satisfactory. It was really beautiful. And I would definitely do it again.
Yes. And I love this work, and I'm seeing the benefits. And the more that I read and get informed, there's another magnificent author, Joshua Leeds, and Chloe Goodchild. Chloe Goodchild has a podcast, and he was on her podcast. And they're talking about how sound is shifting the consciousness, and how sound is also a form of activism, and also for the healing of our planet. And so the more that we are immersed in healthy sound, the more that people are receiving the benefits of sound and frequency. And there's a lot of different ways that we've talked about: binaural mantra music, tuning forks, and sound bath experiences, which are extremely popular now. I'm just one of thousands now who are offering this. We're healing, and there's so much leading edge technology as well, using sound, where some tables are equipped with a built-in kind of speaker frequency tube, and you really feel, and there's a music track, and you're feeling this frequency through your, like, in your bones. It's just amazing. I remember being at a retreat center that had these beds, and thought, oh, I want to get one. I may still get the device.
Never heard of it though.
So I'm encouraging people to also be mindful of the quality of the music. I listen. There's one of the leaders in this field of sound healing is Jonathan Goldman. But there's also another one. But so go listen to music by Jonathan Goldman, and he has courses, and it's just amazing. Now, at the beginning of the century, there was also another scientist called Royal Rife, who discovered, and this is a recent discovery for me, who discovered that disease has each different disease condition vibrates to a different frequency. And he developed this device called the Rife frequency, where in matching the frequency of that illness, it shatters the imprint. So I'm looking at the frequency imprint. It breaks it, and this is where we find healing. And so this is something that I've also been experimenting with, listening to music, frequency music, with these Rife frequencies. And what's very interesting about this, because I had a tooth surgery last summer, which really had a big effect on my health, my neck, my shoulders. And my son, who's very much interested in sound and uses sound at night, and he's had so many deep healing benefits of using these sound frequencies. So he told me about Rife frequencies. I'd never heard about this before. So he said, listen to this, Mom. I play it, and it was just like, it's not beautiful. There's different tonalities. They're not harmonious. And at first I thought, I can't listen to this. This is so dissonant. I kept listening to it, and I got used to it. And then I was able to relax into it, take some breaths.
Is
And
it called Ray? Sound?
Rife, R-I-F-E, Rife frequencies.
Okay.
So some people claim it works, some people claim it doesn't. It's a little bit the debate of homeopathic remedies.
Okay.
Allopathic medicine says that it doesn't work, it's bogus. I believe that it's a form of energy healing which works. And so Rife frequencies, a very cool one to explore.
Yeah.
And in China, they're also taking images of tumors and sending frequencies on video camera.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And the tumors are dissolving before their very eyes. And so this is my world, right? This is what, I'm not the only one in this world, thank God. So there's so much to learn. There's so much to learn. If anyone
what
is
really is amazing is that we have this available to us, yet we are not using this. Humanity's been using frequencies and healing, like the shamanic healing, for so long.
Yes.
And I know you do shamanic work as well.
Yes. Yes. And to speak on that, I mean, dancing, singing around the fire, as all indigenous cultures have done and continue to do. And now in this modern era, we're being inspired by these practices, and we know that they actually are effective. And so that's where our own sound and singing together with groups of people is also extremely healing. Yes. It creates social cohesion, emotional cohesion, which is part of that spectrum of wellness, the holistic way of healing. The drum, how powerful is the drum and drum circle in that?
Yes. Yeah. When you were drumming, when I was there, were you drumming?
Yes.
I remember if you were not.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It's the same thing. It just gives me like these goosies where you just want to let go and just, go with the drum kind of thing. So I love it.
Yes. Love it. And the harp and all these different instruments that we can use. This is another beautiful example of, this is called a water drum. And if you look at it, it has the feet of an infant. It's called First Sounds, Rhythm, Breath, and Lullaby. So we can play this for babies, for newborns, to soothe them.
Oh, wow.
It sounds like water. And whenever I play this in my sessions, it takes us back to the womb. And for people who have such an affinity with water and being caressed and rocked by water, it's very soothing. And this can bring on the release of tears. Yeah. And in my work with sound, I also encourage people to start to voice their anger, to make a sound. If a person tells me, like, I feel angry, I feel anxious, and I'll say, can you make a sound? What does this sound like? Some are very hesitant. It's because we're so vulnerable with a voice, but they'll start to make a sound, and then I'll start to sound with them. And then the sound increases in intensity, and then I'll guide them to start sounding like an animal, like a cat, like a jaguar creating its boundary, defining its boundary, or a dog or a wolf, yeah. And to release that energy, then I'll bring in more instruments. And then when we go into these emotions with the frequencies, with the release, we come to a point where, I've released enough. And now we're at a different level. And now we're calling in, like, what does peace sound like? A person will say, I feel peaceful. I feel spacious. And what does that sound like? And there's beautiful sounds which can emerge. and I will sing with that individual. And that's so beautiful. Like this is such sacred work.
Why do
Sacred
you
work.
think we've been so suppressed to release that frustration or
Mm,
whatever it is that we're
yeah.
holding on to?
Yes. It took me, although I was told stories of me singing very much as a young child, but
Mhm.
it took me many years to find, to embrace my voice fully
Mm.
and to find that union with my voice, that friendship, that love, very much like in the yoga practice. Yeah. When we talk
Mm.
about, um, your practice is your own. Don't compare yourself to others. Use your breath. Go in. Well, that's what we need to do with our voices too, because most of us have some form of inherited trauma.
Mhm.
Trauma of being told, be quiet,
Mm.
stop crying,
Mm.
go to your room, or even physical trauma and not being able to voice our discontent afterwards. Yeah.
Right.
And or the music teacher I'm not blaming music teachers, but those experiences in school, a lot of this happened in our early years in school, where we're in the choir and we're just wanting to hear the good voices that are in pitch and somebody gets the lead role for that song. So all of this is internalized trauma. So we
Mm.
become shy to sing, and there's judgment, or even like, where does this love of karaoke come from? Right?
Mm.
It's like this place of freedom now where we can sing. There's a little bit of voice alteration, which makes everybody sound pretty good, but it's for fun. And
Mhm.
everybody's welcome. It doesn't matter when you're with a group of friends, you're not going to be judging your friend's voice. So we're moving beyond that trauma. But
Right.
what I'm speaking of is, yeah, the trauma that we've held in our bodies. And that's why using the voice is so powerful. And
Mm.
chanting is so powerful because when we chant mantras together in kirtan, there isn't an evaluation like when you're in a choir that you have to be in pitch and perfect.
Right.
It's a practice from the heart.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I sing, but I just make noises in the
Yes,
shower or when I'm in the car all by myself. I
very good.
find it too that when I'm all by myself, again, like you said, we have that in the back of our head that we are going to be judged or someone's going to hear and you're like, oh my goodness, you sound so awful. Stop it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna let go when I'm by myself. And I find it too that it really helps me release the stagnation in my body or even in
You,
my voice itself, because like you mentioned earlier, that we all went through some sort of trauma or some sort of whatever we were going through.
yeah,
And our voices are being shunned in a way of you're not good enough, your
yeah,
voice doesn't sound that good, no, you go in the corner, you shouldn't be joining this music class because you're not going to get it. So
yeah,
we carry these emotions into our adulthood and then yet we're afraid to say what we want to say.
exactly.
Yeah.
And this science of sound, using sound and frequency for healing,
Mm-hmm.
is changing that paradigm. And I'm so happy to hear, Aleksandra, that you are befriending your voice and that you're making sounds of
Mm-hmm.
any kind. And this is also the beautiful practice of toning that anybody can do, toning or humming, or
Mm.
just making. If I can demonstrate an example, and
Yes, please.
people are interested in doing this. So you take an inhale through the belly.
Mm-hmm.
We use the vowel sounds. I can go up in range a little bit to find your natural tuning. Everybody has a different natural tone. Even that as a practice for a few minutes is very grounding. I already feel the effect. It's like, whoo, a wave of calm. Yeah, try that.
It's
Hmm.
beautiful. Yeah. Yeah.
And there's some music now by David Gibson and Jonathan Goldman. They have recordings now of group toning like that. And so you can play the music and tone along with it. It's just amazing. Or if you have a crystal bowl or a bowl like this.
Yes.
Yo.
Oh, I love this. I think music is life. I think music, without
Yes.
music would be boring, you
Music
know?
is life. And I also want to say that the crystal bowls have also taught me how to use my voice with more intuition and release. I've never taken singing lessons. I'm just more of an intuitive singer. And this bowl too, it teaches me how to sing, and instruments have the capacity to do that too.
You listen to it and then you attune yourself to that
Yeah, I
sound.
attune myself to it. Yeah.
Well, then this will bring me to how do you address skepticism or resistance from people, individuals who are unfamiliar with the sound healing or the energy work? Not particularly that you do, but in general.
Yes. Well, in my opinion, one can start with a very simple experiment to play a song that you very much love and see how you feel. And then listen to a song that you don't like. Just like, oh, I do not like this song. And see how you feel.
So listening to your cues of how you feel is important.
How you feel. Now, it's also, one can also, because we're talking about frequencies that are all around us, we can also remind people, well, how do you feel when you're at the ocean and you hear the sound of the waves? How do you feel when you hear songbirds in the forest? Because those are sound frequencies, yeah? And so I think it's just so close to us. That evidence that sound has an impact on us all the time.
How about if someone lives in a city and they're constantly bombarded by, I mean, those are different frequencies, obviously.
Yes.
Because it's such a hustle and bustle in the city and there's always noise. So you become almost like numb to the sounds because you're blocking it because you've been around these noises, let's say, since childhood. How can someone tune themselves back to actually paying attention to certain sounds? Like you said, the birds singing, the wind and the trees moving, even walking on the snow, you can hear that crisp, um, sound. How would you suggest that how can they tune themselves?
Yes, that's a very, very good question. And this is where I would suggest using recorded music. And there's the solfeggio frequencies, which have become very popular. And some of these frequencies are aimed at relieving pain. Some are geared at opening the heart, relieving anxiety, for example. All of this music is now on the major platforms. It's everywhere. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Music. It's on YouTube. And you can even download some apps. I've downloaded an app on my mobile. It's called NeoWake, and you can listen to these frequencies with or without headphones or a small speaker, but create a space in your life where you make time to have this frequency, music, and sound part of your experience. So in the morning, it's very beautiful, or at night. I also sleep with frequency music. I don't put it through my speaker. I just have it on my phone, and it's at a very low volume, and it's just enough. And it's like a wave. It's this kind of music is like a wave that just repeats itself.
I do the same. I love
Yeah.
falling asleep to all different kind of things. Lately, what I've been really into is shamanic drumming.
Yes.
And they use the other low sounds, bells, I think.
Yes.
I love it. That's my new thing that I've been listening to for,
Yes.
I don't know, a couple of weeks now.
Yeah, shamanic drumming can be very invigorating. As Sandra Ingerman is one of the great pioneers in that field. And there's amazing soundtracks. And when I listen, like when you listen to the shamanic drumming, there's like this primal force that gets awakened within you.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this ancient memory of the drumming.
I think that's
And
what it is. Maybe
then
I'm
that,
trying to remember
yeah,
something. I don't know.
yeah. And then we experience entrainment and the instruments. And that's also what happens with the instruments. The frequencies start to merge together, and then this frequency in your being, the water within you that we were talking about, relaxes the vagus nerve. It releases nitric oxide into the body. And then if you add some vocal releases to the shamanic music and some shaking, and yeah, get tribal. Yeah. That is also so healing. You can do that in your downtown apartment.
Right. The curtain's closed.
I think, music is life. I think it very much becomes a lifestyle too, part of your lifestyle. And you start to see that, well, sound, we are bathed in sound and frequency. We're bathed in EMFs. And so we want to lessen environments with too much of that exposure. What can we do for that? There's devices for that. And also the frequency in food, in the food and that we consume.
Yes.
And so there's all of these aspects that have an influence. And in using sound, when we feel good, you've had a beautiful experience with the sound bath, you feel good, and then you choose healthy food and music that's really positive. And so everything starts to interweave and interconnect. Our mind, our affirmations, we start to think, how do I speak to myself, right? What are these inner thoughts that I have?
Absolutely. It's so important to talk to yourself, because I think you are the most important person. Talk to yourself like your best friend.
Yes.
I always say.
Yes.
Right? Because you wouldn't be talking to someone in a negative, bad way. You wouldn't want that person to talk to you this way. So why would you talk or treat yourself this way? In a way,
yes. So how do we nourish ourselves at all of those levels? Yes. And I know that you speak with a lot of people who are on the wellness path.
Mm-hmm.
and seeking. And now we're really being called to deepen our connection and
Mm-hmm.
our our connection with nature, and to be stewards of Mama Gaia, of
Mm.
this living planet we live on, the plants, the animals, the stone people,
Yeah.
all of it. Yeah.
Yeah. We have that respect and listening to everything, paying attention, be conscious of things around you. So, yeah.
Yes.
How can sound healing be personalized for individuals with different needs or backgrounds? Is there something that you can elaborate on?
Mm. Yes. I have heard of testimonials of recovery from, and read from disease. I haven't worked with people with severe conditions,
Mm-hmm.
but for example, if you have any kind, I work with a lot of emotional and mental health
Mm-hmm.
issues, anxiety, psychosis. I do work with that, and I have seen and heard the testimonials of how sound has helped these people to relieve anxiety
Mm-hmm.
and to find a state of peace and calm by listening to a sound frequency with headphones, a sound meditation with headphones, for a few minutes, and how that can very much be helpful. I think that the field of mental wellness is also tapping into the use of sound and frequency for healing, and we're also tapping into the knowledge of the microbiome of our gut health.
Yes.
There's the Heart Math Institute, which has been doing research for many years, and they actually have devices which one can use where there's an electrode that is connected to your body,
Mm-hmm.
and you can meditate and do some pranayama, the breath. You can also use sound in the practice, and it's going to show you the shift of your brain waves from a very high anxious state down to heart coherence,
Mm.
which is beautiful. Um,
I love Joe Dispenza when
oh
he
yeah,
talks about the heart and the brain
yeah,
coherent, because
yes,
we live so we are so disconnected that following his practice and reading a couple of his books, he always focuses on that. Because
absolutely,
once we connect with the heart and the brain and we
yes,
are in the heart coherence, we're golden.
yes, yes, exactly. And when we're, sorry, I was just adjusting my seat here. When we're working with sound, it does open up the heart frequency, through crying, through emotional release, through the strength of the frequency. If I place the tuning fork at the heart, and like, it's like a purr. It's so soothing. Or Reiki energy, placing hands at the front and at the back. And so there all of these practices we can use individually in our homes. And again, coming back to the voice and toning and humming, it's very healing. You can close the little pads on your ears here and just hum. I did that recently on my flight. I was feeling anxious, and so I plugged my ears And I just started making some humming like that, and it calmed me, and like, oh, okay, I'm
I
less
should do that
anxious.
next time because I get anxious too when I get on the plane. So
Yeah.
I'm like usually going and getting um my ginger lozenges, just get a couple of them and it calms me down right away. But I will use that next time for
Okay.
sure. Just to
Yeah.
see how my body will react.
And do you listen to music when you're on a flight?
No, I don't. Because
No?
I am so in tune of what's going on around me on the plane that I'm listening to every single sound. Is the engine working? Is there something happening? Is
Ah,
there, oh, I get so anxious
yeah.
that
Yeah.
maybe music would help me to calm down a little bit and
Yeah.
relax. Yeah.
It's worth a try. And we could talk after this call about this is where I was referring to binaural beats and solfeggio frequencies, which are very much like it's music that is like a wave. It's just very soft
Okay.
and repetitive. And this, I guarantee, you'll feel different.
Okay.
You'll feel less
Connect
anxious.
after the
And
show.
with your VOO, you make that
Okay.
VOO, and it doesn't have to be very loud. It can be very quiet. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, this will bring me to in your opinion, what is the future of sound healing? Where do you think we're heading?
Oh, wow. I'm having difficulty keeping up with all the research. It's phenomenal. And I think there's just going to be so much yummy stuff coming
Mm.
out. There's tons of courses happening, trainings. People are purchasing sound healing instruments. Just from the groups that I work with, there's so many people who after having experienced the sound bath or a one-on-one sound healing session, like,
Mm.
oh, I want to get some crystal bowls. I want to get some Tibetan bowls. A friend of mine recently went and got a gong.
Ah.
And so it's really contagious in that sense. It's
Once
going
you have
viral.
one, you can have just one. You want all of them. It's like
Yeah,
tattoos, right?
yeah, exactly. I own one gong, but I'm babysitting another and two others. And so it's just so fun. It's just so beautiful. So I recommend it to anybody to get an instrument that you really resonate with, start playing with it and see what happens.
Mm.
Yeah, that's how it happened for me. I certainly didn't have an idea that I was, oh, I want to work with sound. I want to be, no, it was through my experience because I had some very significant experiences
Mhm.
hearing sound and feeling the sound that I was changed forever. And
Mm.
I remember when I was on a retreat, a Sonatum Car retreat, which is just phenomenal. And we had done, we would start our practice at 4 a.m. And we did practiced until 7, chanted some mantras. And then we were learning about sound. And at 7 a.m., I was so tired. I had a headache. And at the end of the yoga class, we had a gong meditation, and I felt like crap. And I was like, how am I going to get through this day? It's only 7 o'clock in the morning. And I was lying down directly in front of the gong. And I just left my body.
Mm.
And when the gong bath was all done, I was feeling energized. My mind was clear. I had no headache. And I'm like, okay, wow, I'm ready for the day. That gong bath was 20 minutes. I asked him, I said, how long did you play for him? Because I just left my body. He said, just about 20 minutes. And from that experience, from him, I bought a gong because he had several gongs. I bought a gong and my life was changed forever.
Mm.
And also from years before, experiencing sound baths, different instruments as well, with my friend who was using sound. And so you feel it. You feel it in your body. And it's such a strong experience that there's nothing that there's no doubt that
So be
you know.
curious.
Yeah,
Find that curiosity within yourself. Be open to let new things into your life.
absolutely.
Mm.
And yeah, my kids just went to a spa in Toronto and they have a gong and they're doing breath work. They're doing cold plunges and saunas
Mm.
and they all loved it. It's like, yeah, even breath work, that deep, intense breathing. And then you get some vocal releases too, some tears, some yelling. So there's the use of the voice. All of these experiences are so, so good for us.
It's
Yeah.
important because, like we talked about earlier, we live in such a hustle bustle life that having these moments where you can disconnect from that and really connect within yourself and your surroundings,
Yes.
it's mind, your energetic change, your everything changes when that happens. You
Yes.
shift, right,
Yes.
into better version of yourself, I will call it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you can find a forest and go sing and shout and release and on the earth, all of these
Mm.
are at our disposal. Yeah.
So you have an album that I would love for you to share with the audience. If you can tell us a little bit more about that.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. I recorded this in 2016. Yeah, I was just thinking 2014, 2016. It's my first one. I want to record again. It's an album with 5 mantra songs and 1 medicine song. So yeah, it's on Spotify. I can show it to you, and iTunes. It's called Om the Water, and it's an interesting title in the
Why
sense
did you
that,
choose that?
yeah, why is it Om the Water? Because I have a great affinity with water. I was really inspired by the discoveries and the wisdom that Dr. Emoto has shared with the world, that water has memory. Just to be really mindful of our thoughts and how these thoughts have an effect on our wellness. And I went to a beautiful sunrise ceremony up at Trent University and said some prayers. And I had my frame drum, and my friend and I went to the forest, and it was springtime, about this time of year when the snow and the ice was starting to melt. And I just saw these beautiful formations of ice crystals in the ice by the little creek. So this song came through, honoring the indigenous teachings and the medicine wheel. So I've been singing this for years, and then I studied yoga, and I started chanting a lot. And I came to understand the power of Om, how it's the primordial sound of creation of the universe. And because I wanted to support the healing of water, I'd been walking with the water walkers, women who are praying to all bodies of waters around the world. This is happening around the world. I was on some water walks, and so I guess I just combined the mantra Om, the water, bless this water of life. This water is life. We are born in water. We're from the womb, and so water is defined. Water's precious. We need to be stewards of the water and to be mindful what we're putting into the water, how we're caretaking for the water. So that's the greater meaning of Om, the water. Yeah. Let's pray for the water. Let's pray for our planet, which is mostly water. I think it's 75% water. Is it 80%?
Just like our bodies.
Just like our bodies. And so here's the
Yeah.
the interweaving of sound and consciousness. When we're speaking of sound, we're also speaking of consciousness and the shift in consciousness that arises when we work with frequency.
That's beautiful. So what I will do is definitely post in the show notes where people can get your recording for sure. And you also have a beautiful product, which is called...
Yes, it's called crystal water aromatherapy.
Yes. So how did you come up with that?
Yeah, again, it stems from my love of water, and I infuse the water with a crystal. Both of these use the clear quartz crystal, but I have another formulation, another blend, which uses the amethyst crystal.
Okay.
This one is called Serenity. It has the amethyst, and it has a lot of lavender, amethyst, purple, lavender's purple. So I love essential oils, and I created these again for wellness. And when we're speaking of wellness, when I give a sound healing session, I use these, and people respond very much to scents. It's very rare that anybody will have an adverse reaction with essential oils because they're so pure. I use organic essential oils. And so it's the next level of healing. I work with the rose oil also. And in the healing session, to put rose oil on our heart and to anoint ourselves and to remember how divine and how beautiful and pure and loving that we are in our essence. Yeah.
Yeah, because essential oils also have so much frequency.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And so they're on my website. My website is shandeep.ca. So all of this, everything that I do is
I will link that up for sure.
Thank you. And people can order these and I can ship it out.
Perfect.
Yeah, so this is where I integrate wellness with Reiki and shamanic work, which I've been also integrating in my healing work, which is so beautiful and powerful. Yeah.
Any recommendation, or can you recommend any resources? I know you shared some books, but do you have any other ones that are like your favorites? So listener can, delve deeper if they're interested.
There's so much. There's Donna Eden, who works with energy. She has so many insights. Eileen Mikuziak, who has the Biofield company. So some of these instruments I buy from her, and she has some amazing, she's got 2 books which are really, really, really amazing. Joshua Leeds, Chloe Goodchild, The Naked Voice. She has a podcast. If you have any show notes, perhaps
Yeah, we'll share that for sure.
we could share. There's just so much, so you go into the rabbit hole. Alfred Tomatis and his research of sound, which is Jonathan Goldman.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah.
Mantras into
Especially with all the new scientific proof that are coming out right now too. It's a lot. But we'll definitely link them below, and people can go and
Joe
research.
Dispenza, definitely one of the leading edge. Greg Braden and all of this. Yeah. So let's
Bruce Lipton and so on. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So any final thoughts that you would like to share with the audience?
Yeah, this was such a beautiful sharing, and may we remember the divinity within us, and may we access our own healing through our own voice and our consciousness of this vibrational world that we live in, what we consume, what's good for us, our thoughts, our actions, our
So
intention.
important. Yes.
Yeah.
The
Thank you
choices
so
that
much.
we make.
The choices we make, to trust your intuition, keep the heart open. There's a lot of fear this time. And so it's also important to be mindful of what we choose to listen to. There's some amazing people to listen to, Lee Harris and Pam Gregory, a lot of leading edge thinkers, which are creating a world where there's love, there's peace, there's harmony. So let's create that world and bring it into being.
Yes.
And I thank you, Aleksandra, for being part of this movement and for wanting to speak with people who are interested in this and to spread the word and to spread this vibration. Yeah, because even our interview now was in a beautiful container, a beautiful vibration of harmony. So I feel that. And so that's what we want to share, with our children, with our families, to be understanding, to be compassionate, to be responsive and not reaction, and nonviolent communication. I mean, it doesn't stop. Yeah, it's all interwoven. It's so beautiful. I feel really blessed to be alive at this time. So may we thrive. May our world be well.
Yeah.
May there be peace on earth.
Yes. I think that's the most important one right now.
Yeah.
Even with our differences, we still come together as human beings. I think that's the important part of it, instead of being divided, separated,
Yes.
And I know we're all on different timelines and so on, but I think once we know how to, I think you said it, communicate and come together to some sort of understanding with compassion, love, we are going to be on a better path.
Yes.
And I think we're getting there. I think slowly we are climbing that ladder, has to speak.
Yeah. And that's beautiful. I resonate with what you say. And I'd like to finish with a mantra. And it's the mantra for peace. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free. And may my thoughts, words, and actions contribute to this peace and to this well-being and harmony for all at this time, in all realms. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. And we can take a deep inhale together, a deep exhale, and send this vibration of peace and harmony into the ethers.
Shantdeep, thank you so much for this beautiful conversation and sharing the love of what you do, and letting us know what sound healing energy frequency is. I think it's, again, very important to tap into that. So with all my heart, thank you.
Thank you. And I thank all my teachers. Thank you.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.